friends don't lie, I'm told. All the time.
What's good, guys? Welcome to the Monday morning live stream. Definitely happy to be in another week. Yesterday, Texas Tech won. That's always great. We're going to the Sweet 16 per usual. We played Duke on Thursday. I am extremely excited about watching that game. I cannot wait. Man, if y'all been watching me for the last couple years, I love March Madness shit, especially because my school is always good in it. The last 5 years, my school has been like a perennial competitive college basketball team. So I've definitely been excited about watching that. So I'm gonna smoke this bowl with you guys. We're gonna chill for a little bit this morning. If you guys have a topic you'd like to talk about, feel free to put it in the comments. But this weekend, I didn't really do too much. I watched a few shows, worked on this new thing that I'm developing, looked at a few job options perhaps, and then made some more content. Went on live with you guys. Sorry, that last hit was ashy as hell. Whoa, that last hit was ashy. Shit. Load another bowl now. Shit. That ash hit me in the back of the throat. Hey, Terrence, what's good? Man, I've had some new people coming on the live stream recently. We definitely had some of the regulars, but definitely some new people coming on the live stream, which I always appreciate. Today, I have some more of the same strain I had last week, which is called Zushi. Zushi, yeah. And plans for today. Today, I got a blog. I'm going to make some TikToks, Instagram content. Try to do a review for you guys as well. And I don't know what else I have planned for today. Definitely write some. I've been reading all morning because I've been trying to finish this book. It's been taking me a little bit longer than I wanted to. I'm definitely off track for 50 books this year, but I should be able to hit like 40, which would be a good landing point, but I'm still aiming for 50. I might have to fit in a couple day reads in there, but this book is taking me a little while. Check out Tax Under Your Name. That's shitty, G-Lock. I got you, Terrence. You're on my personal channel, on the Grant Patterson channel. I don't know which channel you're on, honestly, right now. I have 4 people on Cannabis Library, 1 on Grant Patterson, and then 1 on my Twitch. So I'm not exactly sure where everybody's at. But regardless, I appreciate you tuning into whatever channel you're at. Cannabis Library is definitely the one that I update the most. My personal channel, I like making content on there, but I don't get a lot of views on there. Not that that really matters, but at the same time, I just need to come up with more ideas to talk about on my personal one for real. Not only ideas, have that time to create it and shit like that. But I do need to become better about just having the camera rolling. I don't have the camera rolling probably just enough. At the same time, there's a lot of planning and shit that goes into the type of content I be wanting to make and shit. I be wanting to tell some stories. I be wanting to do some different stuff, but it's not free nor easy or quick to get these things done. So I got you, SLH. This was SLH. That's what's up, Zachary. The Super Lemon Haze. Those lemon hazes be too sativa for me. Every now and then I can take a couple hits out of one, but I definitely can't be smoking a lot of it. Hugo, what's good? Got some new people on the channel recently, at least on the live stream. I know a lot of people just usually watch my content. I try to let you guys know about this 9 a.m. during the content. But what's good, Hugo? Appreciate you tuning in. I'm dead. I've had peanut butter breath. It's all right. It definitely wasn't my favorite, but it's pretty good. Griffin, what's good? What's good? Welcome in. We chilling for real, for real. I am looking forward to one day being able to have a live cannabis library session. I'm gonna have to figure out what location's best or where most of the following is or whatever. But I definitely want to have a live cannabis library session one day, or make it a consistent thing, and still do it on live stream and shit. But be able to get to smoke with people and shit too. That should be dope. Bianca, what's good? Bianca, I wish I knew, to be honest. I don't get to consistently go to the dispensary enough to know what terpenes I'm smoking on consistently, if I'm being keeping it 100 with you. I still can't afford dispensary weed out here. I wish I could. I literally just went to lunch with some people who went and watched the game yesterday, and they asked me what dispensary I go to, and I was like, I can't afford it. And they're like, damn, neither can we. And I was like, yeah, this is a part of living in Illinois. You can't afford the weed out here unless you buy it on the street. You're saying you like lemonade. That's what's up. In terms of taste, I like those. In terms of effects, I have to be pushing whatever is more towards indica and a lot of these things, and I need to get into a more terpene research. And I will as I either grow my own or I'm able to start buying from the dispensary. But never in my life have I been able to afford consistent like dispensary, but to be honest, or been in a place where there were dispensaries. Even when I lived in Colorado, because this is like 4 years ago now, it was a lot more expensive. In Street Bud, they were so cheap and so good. It didn't make sense for me to go to the dispensary a lot. Ryan, what's good? Dosido is the best indica you've had. That's what's up. The best indica I've had, I think, is Gas #2. That's my favorite strain overall. I got that from Dozier down in Oklahoma. What's good, Calix? I got you, to Terrence. Yeah, for me, I don't really need too much intensity. I just need something to help me focus and help me be able to be a good human being in terms of some type of efficiency and shit, Because or else it'll be like when I was in school before I was smoking weed and shit, and my focus wasn't there. I'm not a very motivated person in terms of like, and maybe it's not that I'm not motivated, but I am like honestly like extremely patient in my long term things that I want to do, but in my short term, I'm not too patient. But I understand processes and shit. So weed helps me kind of just like dedicate to certain processes for an immediate be okay, but be working towards my long term goals. So that's always what I want to be doing. And it helps me have an honest evaluation of whether what I'm doing is towards my long term goals. Because if it's not, I'll stop it immediately. You know, I don't really settle for too many deviations onto what I want to do. And I'm always going to adapt the situation I'm in. And weed kind of helps me absorb all the information and make non detrimental decisions that are just in haste or greed or shit like that. Oh, absolutely not. In Oklahoma, it was like dirt cheap. Oklahoma is my favorite place I've ever bought weed before. Or got weed, I guess. I can say I bought it because there's only medical down there. But you just get weed, you know. Got you, Terrence. It's a bit ounce on the street or an ounce in the dispensary. I don't think I can legally buy an ounce in the dispensary, but I think I can only get maybe 15 grams. But um, an ounce in the dispensary here would probably run you about 400. Yeah, with tax about 400, 380 to 400 for sure. Right now it is Cloud Shack, but as everything's going indoor, that's gonna change. Cause people like I know people will be like it's best outdoor from Humboldt and shit, but I'm like, yeah, but still only a niche amount of people that ever been smoking that shit. It's not like that's what's massively been produced or like consumed. You know what I mean? Like this indoor has been consumed by a lot of people for a while, like grown in basement and shit like that. Like it just makes the most sense and they can be turned over the fastest and safest and most consistently. So it's like this indoor weed is just what most people are smoking now. It's just the norm, you know. What's good, Terry? Appreciate you tuning in as well, Cloud Shack. So is y'all making them okay, Lib? Y'all aren't getting them from another company? Like it's y'all's brand? Because most shops, it's not really their brand. Sorry, I'm trying to read these. I'm getting pretty cooked. 16 people on. Dope y'all are out here. Yeah, but an ounce in dispensary is $400. And an ounce on the street here, you get a good ounce. Like better than what's in the dispensary for probably 180. Yeah. 180, 200. For sure 200 you're gonna get. So like half the price, you can get a much better eighth. Half the price you get any size that's better. You know, I get like $40 eighths here, 35, $40 eighths here, and they be great. And just as good, if not better than anything I find in the dispensary. I haven't heard of Anchor, no. I got you. So it might be like a franchise thing too. I would say that yeah, the legality has been more open for growers over there. Like there's no more open, more legal place to grow than in Oklahoma right now, a more accessible market. So it's just been so many people going out to Oklahoma and growing so much weed. You know, it's crazy. That's just how it goes, though. Wherever, since we live in a country where every state has different laws, like people are going to settle where the laws are more conducive. The same way, if you want to own a casino, the best place isn't to be like in the middle of Texas or something. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to go Louisiana on the water type shit, Las Vegas, like, and there's still only so many casinos and shit. So, this is all these different things that it's the same type of shit. Like the nation has cornered certain things in certain places, and if you want to exist in certain markets, that's just where you have to go. I've been doing $50 to $70 quarters. Yeah, I'll get they'll have my plug have like the small bud $50 shake quarters or something like that, and I'm cool with that. I got you, Caleb. They've set up the laws to where like hemp products don't have to be tested, and they'll just like outlaw something, instead of actually just starting to test it, like the same way they did with weed before. They just like the whole weed market is still so sketchy to me. I don't care if we're in a dispensary or outside of a dispensary. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That's why I like talking about it because it's all a little bit sketchy to me. Simply because when something's been illegal for this long, how much can we even judge testing? They do everything based off THC percentage, and we know that the THC isn't even like close to even like 1/10 of what all the stuff that's in the bud. And we just go off of THC percentage. So with that being said, one day we're gonna look back and be like, bro, we used to only talk about THC percentage. And even just THC percentage and terpene profile, those are two aspects. Like they say like 100 different things in the plant. And so with that being said, like one day they might have to change the laws to where it's a new compound they found in the plant and they're like, oh, this is what's actually making people high. It's not just in general THC, or it's not just burnt off THCA. This is what's actually happening. And as that science expands, us currently, we're going to look stupid. We're going to look extremely stupid. We don't know that. We know a good amount about the plant, but not as much as we know about like other things because of the lack of research and advancement over the last like 80 years. Because legal and illegal in America means that you paid somebody money. Paying somebody money makes you legal, and paying somebody else non-governmental money makes it illegal. And so people have to realize that. So in the weed market, when you go in the dispensary, out of the dispensary, you're buying the same weed. I mean, the carts and dabs, I could say you could trust those more in the dispensary, but we're talking about flour, like you're literally buying the same flour inside the dispensary and outside the dispensary. Oh, Amazon will be the Amazon of weed, Cloud Shack, eventually. That's why they're lobbying for this weed legalization, because they for sure gonna get the first um, cross national transporting license. Best believe it. Best believe it. That might be what takes Walmart out of business finally, in their battle with Walmart. Yeah, like the legal. What does legal mean? You have to think about what legal means, because there's so many things that are legal and not safe. So, like, how people can attribute legality and safety it's like crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? When we're talking about shit that actually like hurts people and kills people, like we're talking about, like alcohol and pills and shit, driving. All these things are fully legal. Driving 80 miles an hour is fully legal in Texas, but that kills a lot of people. Most dangerous highway in America is in South Texas, running up to Dallas. People going 85. You know what I mean? And people dying literally every single day, and that's legal. So I don't know. Just legality and safety are just, those aren't interchangeable words in my vocabulary, at least. you know, Legal and expensive, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, but wherever you get that Amazon weed, just know all the rest of us, we can't any longer participate in the weed market. We'll be useless. There'll be no more dispensaries and shit like that. Definitely no small MSOs are gonna get knocked out by people like Amazon. That's just how capitalism works. So are you willing to get everything you own from Amazon? That's the thing. It's like, do you want the local growers? Because Amazon's gonna vertically integrate all that shit. They're gonna own the growers all the way up to the distribution because that's what makes sense for their shareholders. And they have a fiduciary contract essentially with these shareholders to increase their profit. So they have to go vertical. And so by vertically integrating, meaning by owning all aspects of chain of command, they'll just systematically take it all over. So that's if like, do y'all still want this? If people still want the small farmer, the small tomato avocado farmer, or do you want everything to be Tyson chicken? You know, it's just going to replicate itself within the weed market, but they're doing it even faster with laws. They're not even allowing small businesses to grow and die off. They're just killing them, you know. Damn, girl. They're already doing it. Like some states have figured out how to monopolize it from the jump. That's the scary thing. Like, of course, monopolies are going to happen because that's how American capitalism works. But it's unbelievable that they're like starting them off as a monopoly, like in Florida and shit. Like they're starting the market off as a monopoly. Like we've never seen that before, really. Like the birth of a market. Like in computers, imagine if they said only Apple and Microsoft are allowed to play. Like there were so many companies like Dell and HP and all these different computer and programming companies, IBM, all these different companies that were vying to compete, and there were so many that died out before that. Imagine if they said no, only these people are actually allowed to make computers. That would be pretty insane. And that's what's happening with weed. Only these certain people are allowed to even operate in this. Yeah, Cloud Shack, they don't understand a lot of stuff. Daniel, we can talk about it. Yeah, Cloud Shack, but it'll go down eventually, but it's gonna go down by like Amazon and people like that taking that shit over. I don't think so, deterrence. I think it's in multiple factors when it comes to the cannabis market. Like the government, I don't think they do understand cannabis. I think they have to figure out how to not let certain people make money off of it. Like that's like the most important thing is to not economically mobilize certain demographics. Like that's their number one priority. So when they're looking at whether they want to make it legal, like they understand the money aspect of it, they don't understand the plan at all, and they know that they can't let certain people get any power or they'll lose some of their own. And so like that's what it is. But innovation, that's still technological innovation. To be able to grow enough weed to supply the entire nation to where you get 1 day shipping on your weed, that's innovation. But that doesn't necessarily mean the quality of your weed's going to go up. you know. But it's like the terms like they have to make sure that they keep hate as like their number one priority, and when like in the government for real, the U.S. government has to like make sure that they divide people and do stuff like that, like as much as possible. So, like when they'll lose some of their power. So, with that being said, like they have no choice but to find ways to divide people in the weed market by saying illicit and legal market and rating illegal grows and stuff like that. Doing those type of stuff is how they have to like put asterisks next to these other people that they don't allow to operate in a legal sense, you know. New job 440, that's dope. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's sick for yeah, I don't think they understand it completely. I don't think they understand completely or at least have admitted completely as to why it became illegal, you know, and who they were targeting and what they were attacking. I don't think they've really come to terms with that, disseminated that information around the world so people understand like like weed legalization really the hate and stuff was birthed in America when it came to that stuff. So people need to understand why it's been illegal. And then once people understand why it's been illegal, then they can start to grasp like, okay, now we can move forward. But people think that we're coming from some place of greed or something is the reason why weed's been illegal, and that's like unbelievably like that's just ridiculous. But and part of it's greed, but that's not the base of the problem. So with just that being the case, until those things are accepted, which probably won't ever happen, there can't really ever be any like truth within the market. So the market's going to exist to be kind of weird for a long time until supply and demand just work themselves out and the laws can't really dictate what's happening, which is kind of starting to happen as we see people just. I don't know anybody that shops at the dispensary in Illinois like consistently. You know, it's like a tourist attraction and some really rich locals, you know, and some medical patients, I'm sure, some older people who have money, but it's not a option for most people, unfortunately. But enjoy the new job 440. Yeah, Caleb, and it was designed to do that, you know. It was designed to do that. I got you, Christy. That's what's up. That's what's up. People definitely have to understand. Um, definitely have to understand the root of racism. That is why the cannabis market is what it is today, and all around the world. That's what I keep preaching. Like people have to understand, like these airs of racism and propaganda of racism are all around the world. Like they convince people that a certain demographic consume cannabis all around the world when everybody liked weed, you know. And George Washington was smoking weed, you know, like that type of shit. But they convince people that only these people really like it. Like what? It's pretty impressive. You're in Oklahoma. That's what's up. Yeah, no. Oklahoma is fucked up because it's medical in such a small state. Medical can only work in huge states. Like I swear, medical could only work like a full medical program. Like legitimately, I don't think it can work. Don't get me wrong, but if it could work anywhere, I think it would have to be like in a place like New York, and I think it'd only work in New York City. It needs an unbelievably large demographic of people who would get a medical license, and that just doesn't happen. And then take them away from the plug they've been knowing all these years. And that's weed. They weren't growing hemp, they were growing weed. I don't know what people. Hemp is fake. Hemp is not a real word. They were growing weed. I know it wasn't as potent as like the hydroponics we're smoking on today, but I took a drug class one time. Once I got in trouble, it does say hemp. Yeah, but we have to understand the power of like words because they want to attribute weed to vagrancy or fucking like illegal shit or criminality, and they want to associate hemp to non-criminals, and they want to say that our founding fathers were non-criminals, so they were smoking hemp, you know. So they put these words, they attract these words to stuff, and so they call like That's what they call weed, marijuana, and stuff like that. That's like the illegal stuff, and hemp is the legal stuff. And they've always used these different words. And when they want to create something new, they're gonna just add another word to the lexicon of like what we say and stuff. And they're going to manipulate that lexicon to make people feel more comfortable with certain words. And that word association is going to be very powerful. They were getting high. People have to understand that, because what you have to understand, and the reason I know this as a fact, is because in the modern day sense, hemp means that it's under 0.3% THC. Oh, marijuana is for sure a racist word. They wanted to sound Mexican, and they wanted people to be afraid of Mexican shit. That's for sure a racist word. But hemp is 0.3% THC. And so when my drug teacher told me that no, George Washington didn't have weed, he had hemp, I said, so what you're telling me is George Washington had testing centers set up in 1776 where he could tell that the flower that he was smoking had below 0.3 THC and it wasn't getting him high? You're an idiot if you believe that. You know what I mean? Like, you're an idiot. What idiot would believe that? And that is a harsh word for the truth. Like, that is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. George Washington knew that that flower was under 0.3% THC, and he knew that that was the safe amount. Like, come on, bro. What are we even talking about? They were trying, I know George Washington would whoop his slave and say, I need it stronger. I need it stronger. And they were growing that weed as strong as George wanted that shit. And he would say, hey, hit him until he makes it stronger. And they beat the shit out of some black guy growing their hemp. Oh my goodness. What, like, the shit they try to peddle is like crazy, bro. You know, like, they just want certain demographics of America to feel comfortable with the word hemp and be fearful of the word marijuana or weed. And not only that, Emmanuel, then when we started smoking it, then making it illegal because they understood like the mind freeing aspects of it. You know, they understood some of those things because they were smoking it. And so, like, when jazz form came about and they understood how it was like freeing people's minds, and people like Louis Armstrong were having the confidence to like look them eye to eye and make music and stuff like that. Because I was even reading a book and they were saying before Louis Armstrong, like, there had never been people that could look like eye to eye at a white crowd. And he literally got booed off of stages in Europe and shit because he was just looking them eye to eye. That's because he was rolling up fat ass joints, not giving a fuck about it, whoever was in the crowd, and playing a fucking trumpet. And so those things offended people, and they said, no, we got to get these confident niggas out of here. Oh my God. But that shit is insane. For sure, the Terrence, but it's been everywhere, you know what I mean, in different forms. Because in the same way, like psychedelics, certain psychedelics are around the world, but they be from everywhere. Like, they try to pin, just be careful of, like, when we talk about the history of weed, we have to understand that this history has been written by some racist motherfuckers. And that is just simply put. So it's simply a fact, you know? And so we have to take some of the history that we're also given, and we have to really add some common sense to it, because you have to understand, like, hemp, come on, bro. Like, Thomas Jefferson just knew what percentage. When she told me that, I was like, bro, this drug class is for idiots. Like, y'all are literally Like the government, like is using tax dollars to fund drug classes for people that y'all for y'all to just tell them like literal bullshit that actually nobody believes other than this stupid ass teacher. But I digress. I hope you guys have an amazing Monday. I hope when you hear the words that people attach to the weed market, you be very, very careful and know what they're defining it as. Know what they're defining it as, please. I remember my parents called me in college and they were saying that they're like, "Do you smoke Kush?" They didn't know what Kush meant. On the news, evidently in Houston, they described Kush as K2, and people they were saying like K2 was Kush, like they would put those words together on the news. And so when people were like, "We have Kush," like to me, I was like, "Yeah, I smoke Kush sometimes," and they were like freaking out. And then I realized what they were talking about, and there's people smoking Spice and K2 and run around with their dick out in the street. And I was like, oh, so they think that's what I'm smoking, because the news told them that Kush was Spice. And it's not, obviously in my verbiage, it's not. But the news who wants to peddle fear, it is. Leah, that's the thing that people don't understand. As young people, a lot of times people don't listen to the news. Old people watch the news. And that is a fact. Old people watch the news and they take it as truth. And they believe that people who don't watch the news are uninformed, because they've been watching that shit since they were like kids, and so they've already been like brainwashed with like supremacy ideals and shit. So we have to, regardless of race. So you have to like take that for what it is, but just know that I say all this to say when people are using these words in the cannabis market, in the weed market, in the marijuana market, in the Kush market, we have to understand that certain people are going to be uneducated in it. Some people don't understand weed stuff. And so when they give you these words, you have to like inform them on where this stuff is coming from. And that's the only way we can move forward, or else people will continue to keep like fucking lying, because people don't know. People don't know certain things. People don't know other things. So people will believe certain propaganda, people won't. Some people are literally just so fearful of things that like, and which I can understand because America is a scary fucking place, that like shit's just like that, so we just have to understand these things and take some things with a grain of salt, but then educate people when we have the opportunity to. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. Another Cannabis Library morning live stream. You guys stay positive. You guys have a great day. Go get some shit